so Trulia went down, so we had to reroute everybody to YouTube. So that's just life, right? We all go through these challenges. You plan things out, and sometimes the plan just doesn't happen. And you have to adapt on the fly. How many people have experienced that before? A lot of times, correct. So before we get started, let's get everyone in the right energy, right frame of mind. How's that? Everyone stand up. And before we get started, also, this is special for us doing this. Pavan's a good friend of mine for years. He asked me, he goes, Sam, hey, do you mind, kind of hosting this or kind of helping out doing this? And I'm like, hey, we're doing this for a cause, an autism cause that's very important to his heart. And I'm like, okay, no problem. Let's do this. But let's get the right energy for you. Everybody close their eyes. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Take another deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Now let's speed it up a little bit. Deep breath in, deep breath out. On 3, with incredible passion, with incredible energy, I want you to say, it is my time, it is my time, it is my time. Now, if you don't do it, you'll come up front and do it for the whole group by yourself. Ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm giving you one more chance because I saw a couple of you not doing anything. You got your hands in your pocket, don't want to converse. We're going to try this once again. And whoever does it the loudest, how about this? Whoever does it the loudest, from Pavan, obviously. Okay, how about this? The 4 people that do it the loudest that I can hear, $100 bills. All come in the middle. Ready? On 3. On 3. 1, 2, 3. It's my time. It's my time. It's my time. Oh, wow. Thank you. Let's see. I got to do it. I got to do it again because I don't really know. I want to be fair. Scott, you're already a rich man. From all American Home Loans, you're already rich, man. I can't give you 100. All right, let's try this again. Fausto, you're already rich. You already got a boat. You can't give you that easy. All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3. It's my time. It's my time. It's my time. You deserve it. I don't care what anyone says. You deserve it. Pass this 100 over there. All right. One more time. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. It's your time. Congratulations. I have one left, but it's too confusing. And I don't want to discriminate against anyone, and I'm just going to hold on to it because I don't really know. So, or should we do it one more time? All right, let's hear it. 1, 2, 3. You win. All right. Oh, that was fun. All right. So life has many different challenges that always come through, and you can have a seat. You can have a seat. So, we all go through ups and downs, and everybody has a fight that they're fighting. I've had many in my lifetime, and many of you are fighting a fight that nobody else knows but you do, or maybe a few people know. And what you always have to realize is that no matter what the setback is, well, thank you so much. Appreciate it. You got to realize no matter what the setback is, the comeback is a lot sweeter. And for everyone that's going through something right now, today is a real powerful day for a few different reasons. Obviously, in a moment, Pavan Agarwal is going to introduce, a couple of amazing athletes, Hall of Famers, that went through a lot of ups and downs in their lives. And sometimes in life, you can't see what's ahead because you're right here, you're thinking, shoot, man, my life isn't going the way it's supposed to go. Things are just not happening. Or maybe it could be a lot of things happen the wrong way, but you don't know that if all those things were necessary for you to become a better man or better woman, to make the better decisions, to get to where you always want to get to, That's the journey of life. Nobody knows that. So what you got to have is you got to have faith. The two things that guide every human being in life is fear and faith. You know what fear and faith have in common? They're both imagination of tomorrow. The difference is that fear is a negative imagination of tomorrow, and faith is a positive imagination of tomorrow. So if you're going to look at your life in the future, it's better to look at it with faith than fear. If you do it with fear, things get a little depressing, okay? When you're on the bottom, no one really cares, right? Everyone gets away. Nobody wants to be around you. No one wants to be there for you. But when you're at the top, guess what? Everybody's around you, right? Everybody's like, hey, I want to hang out with that person. But you have to understand is that whatever happened doesn't matter. What's happened, it's what you're going to do now. So one of the things that we're going to introduce today is this technology that's going to change everything in the mortgage industry or in all industries. So you guys are going to hear some things very detailed about that. So without further ado, I want to introduce, this guy has done an amazing job, and he's going to start this we're going to do the Star Spangled Banner. Come on up. A round of applause for him, please.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed, a dead twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that a flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Wow, Alejandro Milan. Guys, got to remember this guy's name, Alejandro Milan, because he's the next superstar. Round of applause again. Great job. Thank you. All right. So there's a few other things, and I think what I want to do is I want to go ahead and bring Pavan up. We have an amazing person in the audience that really helped our country out. Really made a really big difference. But I want to bring out the guy, the brain, the visionary, the guy, I inspire to even be half of the guy who's about to change the whole industry on how everything operates through AI. Pavan Agarwal, ladies and gentlemen.
3 words which captures what makes us different. We get you. That describes our philosophy of mutual respect. We get you. That recognize and celebrate our differences. We get you. That keeps us focused on the important stuff. We get you. That moves us forward. We get you. That gives us freedom to fail without judgment. We get you. That furnish opportunities to all, and all are treated as elite. We get you. That have brought us together for 42 years. We get you. Through good times and bad, we get you. We keep our commitments. We get you. We keep our promises. We get you. We make it easy for loan officers and customers. We get you. We support each other. We get you. We speak your language. We get you. These words are why our tech solves human problems. We get you. These words are our faith in the technology that comes from our faith in people. We get you. These words make empathetic technology. We get you. These words created Morgan. We get you. An investment in compassion and acceptance has infinite returns. We get you. Because true success comes from within. We get you. Because it creates limitless potential. We get you. Because it is fair lending. We get you. Because you love your home. We get you. Because your true home is always within. SunWest Mortgage.
So with that said, I would be honored to have my good friend and the SunWest spokesperson, who's been our spokesperson for over 10 years now, Iván Pudge Rodríguez, Hall of Famer. Please come on stage.
Sam, you have a great voice, Sam. I can hear you from back there. Pavan, how are you? Hey, buddy, how are you?
Please. Get cozy.
All right.
All right. So we're going to talk about the future, your life, and what is it that kept you going? You started as a small town in Puerto Rico.
Well, basically for me, I started, I'm going to give you a little bit of background on myself. I'm from Puerto Rico, a small island in Puerto Rico. I'm from a small town called Vega Baja, Puerto Rico. And I grew up basically, getting raised by my parents and give me a good discipline since a little kid, and go to school and basically just trying to stay positive and basically have a great discipline. I got another brother older than mine, and we only two. And basically what we got teach at home basically just to respect, basically listen, just go and do the things that you got to do in life to be a great person. And basically I just did that. I continued that through my whole life. And basically I have a beautiful family. Obviously I got a wife that she's here. She's back there, Patricia over there. Say hi. And one of the sons, Luis, over there. And so we have a beautiful family. Our family is kind of a little big. I have 3 kids from my first marriage, and I have 3 kids always from my current wife. We have 7 grandchildren in the house. So our house is full, and we don't need to invite anybody in December because the house is full in December and Christmas. But for me, grew up in a small town, Pavan, and take that discipline to the sport that I play for 25 years helps me a lot. And to me, that's the most important thing, just how you're going to use your discipline, your talent, and become a Hall of Famer, right? Like I did, I got inducted in 2017. So for me, it's just great to talk about that, because to me, that's life. When you have that in you and you establish goals in your life, you always get it. And basically, we all here, right, for that, because we love what we do. and you love what you do. That's why you're so great in what you do, and you have this beautiful company called SunWest. And so I would also like to congratulate you on everything you've done. I know it's not easy. Papi, the one who's upstairs, right? Dad is the one that gets you there, right? And then now you follow with your family. So I just wanted to congratulate you and also thank you for having me here today.
Thank you. So, Pudge, at SunWest, we say your true home is always within. And to me, what that means to me is we all have magic inside us that drives us forward. Right? How do you tap into your magic? And when things are gone the worst, how do you tap into that and get you to move forward?
Well, moving forward, you just stay positive. Always like you and I, we talk. Obviously, when you're the best in what you do, you always wanted to continue to work hard and make it happen. Basically, that was what I did in my career. I did have a lot of obstacles in my career, especially as a Latino, as a Latin person. Obviously, the language was the most difficult part of me to learn. But guess what? I just tried to learn it as quick as possible to communicate with you, communicate with all of you here today, and also communicate with my players and teammates and coaches and all the people that I work around. And those are the things that we have to keep it forward. Just trying to just work hard, never give up, trying to make sure that when you come to work, you come with love and passion to do and to have a great day. Because it's hard to have a good day every day. You're gonna have up and downs in your life. Obviously, it happens, and it's gonna happen no matter what. If you think, no, I'm gonna have a great day, great, good luck. Good luck, because sometimes you're gonna have good ones and you're not gonna have good ones. But you learn from the good ones, but also you learn from the bad ones. How are you gonna learn from the bad ones? Keep working hard. Keep doing the things that you wanted to do and never give up. You just concentrate and make sure you stay there and be positive. Just if you have a good day, perfect. If you have a bad day, great too, because I'll learn from it. And that was me. Okay, because baseball, if you think about baseball, I mean, I'm talking baseball because I was an athlete, obviously, and now I'm using what I did in baseball for my business that I do today, is that you have to stay positive and you have to stay strong every single day, because nothing out there is easy, but you can get it done if you love and you put a lot of work and a lot of practice into it. That's my philosophy all the time. In baseball, I did that. In baseball, it's more failure than produce. Obviously, if you have, I'm going to give you like a very quick, simple math in baseball as an offensive player, right? Offensive player, you play 162 games. If you play every day, it's 4 at-bats. That give you 600 times to the plate. And if you hit 200 hits, it's an MVP season. And how many times you out? 400 times. So that is a big example of kind of like you have to continue to work hard. You have to keep going, keep work, keep doing the things that you gotta do, and stay strong. Because if you do that, you're gonna be the best. And if you want to be the best in what you do, that's the key.
Yeah. Right. Today we're honored also to have 2 amazing heroes here.
Absolutely. I know that we are, that you have me, you have Terrell's coming in a second, but last night's dinner and today's event is for a family, for a gentleman that did so so much for this country. And what this man did for all of us, that's what we're here for. And those kind of guys, I've been around it. I play golf with a lot of them, and the stories that they talk to me. I mean, I get goosebumps, obviously, because what they did for us in war and all that is not easy. And having them here and having Melbourne here is an honor, man. Just what you do, what you did, and your wife that you here. So you want them to come up, Iván?
Yeah, I think we have a microphone.
I just wanted to please kind of stand up and let's give him a big round of applause to this gentleman, because this guy is an incredible person. Come on. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Please say a few words for us. They wanted to hear you. I know that we're here and Theo is here, but this is your.
Morning, everybody. I'm Alvin, and this is my wife, Orlando. Wasn't expecting this, but
Sorry that I put you in this spot, but you deserve it.
it's an honor to be here. Thanks to Pavan and Preeti. And
Rob Schaefer, Christopher Lane, and Phyllis Harris. All Sunwest. Our realtor was William Rossi, and he was a big help too. They worked seamlessly together.
And I just saw something you had a few minutes ago. Sunwest say, "We got you." We get you. I just told my wife, I said, "That's awesome. I'm going to change that. They get us." Yeah. Because our struggles and what we went through, I'm not going to bash anybody, but it was pretty intense. And we got to Christopher Lane, and he made it happen in a quick flash. Usually getting a house or having your mortgage done takes a pretty good while, but Christopher took care of us, told us, "Hey, let us know your situation, let us know your story," and we did that, and he made it happen for us. So, we get you turns to you got us, and we really appreciate that. This trip turned out to be one of those Michael Jackson situations. Backstage pass to Pudge, Theo, and all you fine guys. We really appreciated you, and we thank you for all that you did to get us our beautiful home that we got from Sunwest.
Thank you.
And Melvin, what advice do you have for veterans going through the kind of challenges that you went through? And
Well, I'll say don't give up. And by this opportunity I got, I'm going to find a way to get to some of my veteran friends who've been in a situation like me. And if you don't have a strong wife like I do, you're going to give up pretty quick. So I'm going to let some guys know that, hey, just keep pushing, don't give up. And also I'm going to send them to Sunwest Way. But just don't give up. It's a rough road, good days, bad days. And the bad days, you really want to quit sometimes, but you just try to look at the mistakes you made, or some days it wouldn't be a mistake, it's just a bad day. There's nothing you can do about it, but you can learn from it. And hopefully we could pass it on to some other veterans and let them know that Chris is there, Pavan is there, but most of all, Sunwest can help in some way.
Orlando, I got a question for you. What is same question to you? What advice you give to the wife?
To partners, I would say to hold strong. it is really true that you have good days, but then the bad days can be really bad. I had to watch him go from so capable to just a different person altogether, and it was really hard. As a background, we actually had to file for bankruptcy, which was really bad. And when we contacted Chris, it was a year and 3 months into our discharge from bankruptcy. And that was in the end of December of 2021. We moved into our house on March 16th of 2022. That's how fast SunWest worked. It was truly amazing. Along the way, there was a lot of dung. It was like the average he gave, that 2/3 of the way was dung. It felt like more than that for us. It's really unpredictable life. And this is really special to us, and specifically to me, because there had been people who helped along the way too, before we got to SunWest, and very rarely do we get to say thank you. But here we are, and we get to say thank you in person, and that is very special to me, because sometimes it makes such a difference to be able to meet the people who help you along the way. And we never imagined being in a house. I thought we would be waiting for 7 years down the line, hopefully, maybe. And 3 months is all it took for SunWest to get us into a home, into our mansion, because that's what it is. That's what we feel about it. And we're able to now have our family come and visit, and we're able to make new friends, and we have a place for them to be and to enjoy with us. And we're hoping that this message gets to veterans out there who are in similar struggles, or maybe even have it worse than we do. But as long as you keep fighting, you'll find the right person to help, because that's what happened. We went for years. We started this journey in 2012 when he was med boarded out of active duty and into National Guard. And we've been fighting with the VA from 2012, and we only got 100% disability in 2021, which is when we started to think about, okay, what do we need to do to possibly get into a home that we never expected to happen so soon. And that was almost, well, just about 10 years. 10 years, almost 10 years that it took for that to happen. So when we say it wasn't overnight, it definitely wasn't overnight. And the struggle still continues, because there's just still so much more that we're fighting for. And it just never ends. It's very sad to me, the way that veterans are treated in this country, but it makes me very happy to know that there's a company out there, at least one, that cares so much, that they go through so much to help, because we never expected this. Never.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
They're truly amazing heroes, and so appreciate you taking the time to come and see us today. And what an inspiring, amazing story.
It's wonderful. We have VIPs here, celebrities. We're never going to forget this.
Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Very good. That's a great story. Well, that's why it's my 8th year with SunWest Company, and I'm just hoping that we can stay together for life. So stories like this make you keep work hard. So it's all on you, and what can I say? You're awesome, man. What can I say?
So what do you think we should invite T.O. next?
There you go.
Right. Who wants to
Do
see
you have
T.O.?
a football? I can throw a football.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? How are you?
So, Tio, what gives you the winning mindset? I mean,
What gives me the winning mindset? I think it probably started, I guess, my grandmother raised me. I was born and raised in Alexander City, Alabama. But I think before, I knew really anything about myself as far as sports are concerned, because my grandmother, she didn't want me to play any sports. So it's my story is kind of unique in a sense. I was explaining this to Pudge yesterday or last night, is that I never knew or thought that I would play in the National Football League. I went to UT Chattanooga on a scholarship on the heels of someone else. And but my grandmother raised me, and she talked to me and instilled in me about faith. And faith is a belief in something that seems impossible. And I think, when you think about that and how everybody has a path and a journey, we're going to come in contact and encounter a lot of different obstacles that challenges us mentally. But for me, it was just, I think, overall, that faith that she instilled in me, and then just my work ethic.
okay. Great. So when you have ups and downs, when you have the downs, what do you focus on? How do you get past those downs and get back to an up?
Just the work that I put in. You just have to believe in yourself. I think for me, I was born with something really inside of me that refuses to be average. And I don't know what that is, but I'm grateful for it. But when you think about anybody's career, their profession, there has to be work put into it to be successful. Things don't just happen. There's a lot of, we think about Hall of Famers, you think about athletes, you think about every sport. There's a lot of good athletes, but there aren't a whole lot of great athletes. And what separates those good ones from the great ones? For me, I always talk about desire, dedication, and discipline. Everybody in this room has a desire to be or do something in life. Whatever that profession may be, they may have a mentor or someone that sets the standard or the bar in which they're trying to accomplish. But in order to accomplish that, you got to dedicate yourself and you got to have discipline. And discipline is that really key element because, like I said, there's a lot of good athletes, you know what I mean? But there aren't a lot of great ones. And you think about some of the greats in every sport, what makes them great? It's that discipline. And discipline is that bridge between good and great. Would you agree, Pudge?
I agree 100%. Well, when you saying the discipline for us as an athlete, when you separate we all professional, we all good, but also at the same time, obviously there's others, that just succeed more than others. And I think that's what Theo says, the discipline comes in place at that time. Is how much you care about winning, and how much you care about your team, and how much you care about that moment that you play. In our sport, obviously, we see that all the time. We see players that we don't see the effort that we put on. And sometimes we go and sit down and say, hey, I need more effort from you, because we all doing it. And that's the difference about winner and just show up. If you want to be a Hall of Famer, that's the discipline of go out there and just be the best and always stay the best. Even, like I said before, even if you have a bad game or a good game, you still work hard and you still play the game hard into the last minute, into the last pass, in my case, into out number 27 or into the 9th inning when the game is over. So that's how you separate the good players, the players that play a great career than other ones.
Right.
So I have a question for both of you. What where do you see your limitless potential, your infinite magic that's within you? Where do you see that taking you?
I think it can take you as far as your mind or your body wants to take you. I think now, I mean, for me, I know I can probably still play right now. And I think I heard Pudge say it, is this, for me, I didn't know at an early age that I was going to play football. Growing up in the South, you know, kids play all types of sports. You know, I played basketball, I ran track, I played baseball, and I played football. And so I really had no idea, when you talk about limitless opportunities, I never knew what I was gonna ultimately become. I could have became a basketball player, you know, maybe I could have become a baseball player had I really applied myself. But for me, it's about loving what you do and doing what you love. And so I became competitive. I fell in love with the process, especially leaving college, playing in the pros. I ended up acquiring a trainer after my third year in the league. And he taught me a lot of things about myself, being knowledgeable about nutrition. Obviously, to play a sport, he played for 25 years. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of details. There's a lot of small intricacies of his craft and my craft that we have to really pay a lot of attention and detail to in order to become the best. So those things for me, I used to become, you know, the athlete that I became, to play with some of the greatest athletes in the world. Like I said, it's sometimes it's mind-boggling to think where I came from and where I am now. But there was a lot of work that was put into that, and so I don't take it, you know, lightly. Like for now, like I said, I know I probably can still play. It's just me having to have that consistency and wanting to keep pushing, put one foot in front of the other, and understanding there are going to be struggles. There's going to be fear. There's going to be anxiety. Sometimes fear will challenge you when you're not prepared. And then at the end of the day, sometimes you're going to be afraid anyway. You're going to be fearful, but you have to be fearless. And regardless of that situation, regardless of the fear, you might as well just do it anyway and then live with the results.
Yep. Well, fear make you good. Fear make you a great athlete or great or in anything.
It's a fight or flight type of
This is my opinion. So I think Theo and I, we have a lot in common, obviously. I'm thinking the same way than him. I probably could have played more, but you know, when you play 25 years, I think that's enough. You know, it's just too much. And you know, right now, you know, obviously, physically, I feel great, but the problem is when I face a picture, I might probably see 3 baseball comes to me because my eyes are not the same. But no, I think that's Theo said it all. As us as an athlete, basically, we have those feelings as everybody else, obviously, but those things, you can put it in your ability to become a great player, and those things helps you a lot.
Well, I know after baseball, you've done really well in golf.
Yeah. I'm going to play at 2:00 today.
Yeah.
Will we see you on the tour anytime soon?
Me? Well, I'm not saying probably the tour, but I play competitive. I'm going to have 2 tournaments coming up. The one in New York coming up next week, and we always play one. He's very famous for. We call the American Century. That's in Lake Tahoe. So that's next week. So I love to compete.
Yeah.
I love to play golf, compete, and still hitting the ball to the right. But as long as I can find it, I'm fine.
Right.
Are we going to see Pudge in the Golf Hall of Fame?
Me? No. One is enough.
How about you, Theo? What other, now that you've retired from football, are you heading on to something else?
I have other passions, which is probably surprising to a lot of people. Obviously, my friends, they know, but I love home decor. HGTV is one of my favorite channels. Honestly, it's one of the first 2 channels. Yeah. So I like home decor. I like fashion. I just established a clothing line. It's called Prototype 81. And people were like, well, why the name Prototype? And so when I came up with that idea, but obviously creativity is part of, it's in my DNA because of all the creative touchdown dances that I had throughout the course of my career. But
And plus, he has the body for it.
that helps too, prototypical. And so that goes into what I'm about to say. So when I came out of college, and obviously they're evaluating, they're scouting you. And so I kept hearing the word prototype, just like he has a prototypical type of body. At that time, around, I guess, late 90s, going into the National Football League, they had some of the, bigger receivers. I think I was at the beginning phase and trend of big receivers. You talk about Michael Irvin, Jerry Rice, Herman Moore.
Mm-hmm.
These are, Jake Reed. These are tall receivers. And so I kind of fit that mold. And so obviously with my clothing line, I started to be creative. I'm like, what can I do with this line? How can I make it attractive? And the word prototype, the definition is the basis on which something is made or formed. And so obviously, like I said, I'm here telling you about my story, how I got to the National Football League, obviously small town, went to school, Chattanooga. I played 2 sports in Chattanooga, played football and basketball. Didn't know I was going to get drafted. I played 3 years of basketball. My last year playing basketball, the school they was like, why are you going to risk, playing basketball and, you may risk and get hurt and not, mess up your chances of playing the National Football League. But again, me being oblivious to, the potential that I had and what people saw in me, I'm like, well, I love basketball. My passion is basketball. So I was like, if I make it, I make it. If I don't, I don't. So I played anyway. And so I came up with the name Prototype 81. And so, like I said, the definition of prototype is the basis on which something is made or formed. And I look at my career and I reflected back on it. And I'm like, man, I never thought I was going to be here, but I'm here anyway. And so obviously with, fashion, my mom grew up, I grew up and my mom, she worked a number of jobs. She made our clothes when we were younger. So I think fashion was sort of in my DNA. Obviously 81 is obviously synonymous with my football number that I played with. And so that's how I came up with the name. And so I'm into a little bit of fashion. I just launched a Cabernet, a wine, under the Lasorda family. Tommy Lasorda's a wine company, Lasorda Family Wines. So I got involved in that during the pandemic. Everybody was, kind of dibbling and dabbling, during that time. So I'm doing that. And then I'm working with a friend of mine. She does candles. So I'm doing some candles as well. So, you want to find anything about me, just go to my Instagram.
I know.
I'm still social media. I'm not too old, but I'm still social media active. I love fan engagement, and just using, kind of what, the National Football League has afforded me to do a number of things that I'm doing now from an entrepreneurial standpoint.
Right.
And I know that that you also give back. Both of you give back tremendously.
Absolutely. My grandmother passed of Alzheimer's in 2012. And so I do a lot of things with Alzheimer's, do a lot of things. Obviously, I love kids. Working an ambassador right now for the Boys and Girls Club of America. So anytime that I can, lend my hand, my likeness to either one of those, then I make myself available.
Yeah. Well, I use golf for charity, obviously, and I do 2 tournaments a year, and basically we raise the money actually for my wife foundation that she is involved called Posada Moises, and we do an event obviously in Dominican and one in Colombia, and all the money that we raise goes to the foundation. So we helping the poor kids that left on the street. So we bring it into our home and we take care of them.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So, as any closing remarks, anything you want to share about?
Well, no, for me, obviously, I just want to say thank you for having us here today. I want to wish you always, like I always tell you, all the best for you and all the best for all of you. All the success. Good luck to all of you. Keep work hard, love what you do, and make sure that everything coming forward in all of you guys' life is for the good. So God bless and have a great day.
Yeah, I think the same. Yeah, I would echo those same words. Just grateful for the opportunity to be here. I think, obviously, like I said, we can sit here and be motivational. We can say, you can do this or you can do that. But it's really up to the individual and what's inside of them. We all can do what we put our minds to. We can sit here and say, you can do that, but you can and you can't. You're not going to be able to do what we're, telling you to do if you don't put in that work to do it. It's just not going to happen. Just us being here today is because of the residual effects of the work that we've put in throughout the course of our careers. A lot of what a lot of people in here haven't seen. A lot of what we've done on the football field, our prospective sports, the success that we have and have achieved is because of the things that we do behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And like even here, like I said, it's not by happenstance or chance that we're here. It's that residual of what we've been able to do throughout the course of our careers, and we're still benefiting from it.
How many things you do behind scenes?
Yeah,
How much you sleep at night?
Yeah.
Well, everyone knows I don't sleep. I'm 24/7. Yeah.
But thanks again, Pavan.
Yeah.
There's a few questions, audience.
Yeah.
You guys okay with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyone else has a question? Raise your hand.
Is it on? Oh, it is on. It is on. It's such an honor to have two Hall of Famers here today. I mean, you can't beat that. This is like a dream come true. But my question is for T.O. I have a nephew, godson, that's currently in high school playing football, dreams of going to the NFL. What advice would you give to young people on that path?
Consistency. I just think keep continuing on the path of hard work. As I said, those 3 Ds that I mentioned, desire, dedication, and discipline. I'm sure your nephew, he has a desire, as you're asking me that question, to be a football player, to be successful. But in order to get there, whether whomever his idol is, if it's me, if it's Pudge, or whomever it may be, and then you have to dedicate yourself to that craft. And then you have to have discipline, ultimately that discipline to sustain that. So if he has a desire to be a football player, to be successful, he definitely has to dedicate himself. Obviously, that's part of hard work. And you have to discipline yourself. And that's doing what others would normally do.
Thank you.
And mom and dad and the family is very important also as well. And the kid, make sure pass that message to the parents, because the best fans that kid's is going to see is the mom and dad on the bleachers. So they're a big part of it, and they're very important.
Thank you. Anyone else with the question?
Not everybody raised at one time.
Hi. So my question is, during downtime, what's your tool to use that as a resource to bring you back where you need to be?
Go ahead.
I think for me, it's just, I guess early on in my career, like I said, Pudge said, they're going to be ups and downs. You're going to have challenges. It's going to be the ebb and flow of and the monotony of being a professional athlete. And there are going to be good days and there's going to be bad days, just like with anything in life. You just can't allow that to derail you, discourage you. And just know you just got to, like I said, you just got to put one foot in front of the other. I use that downtime obviously to visualize. During, I think a lot of downtime for a season for me after the season, we have what we call off season, depending on how far you go into the playoffs. And so fortunately for me, I was on a few franchises that, we were able to really compete in the playoffs every year. One year, I ended up getting to play in the Super Bowl. Out of a 15-year career, I only had one time in the Super Bowl. Everybody's not as fortunate as number 12, Tom Brady, to reach, the Super Bowl a number of times. But for me, I used that downtime to really reassess and reflect on what I could have done better. And I think we all have to do that, with our lives. And so for me, being an athlete, I use that downtime to figure out, not necessarily harp on or really my strengths and not necessarily my weaknesses, but things that I can improve on. What can make me a better player, a better person, better teammate, better leader. Those are some of the things, like you said, you have to inwardly reflect about yourself during that downtime. Is to become a better person, a better athlete, or whatever it is that you're on your journey to be.
Well, for me, I just said earlier, the downtimes you learn from it, right? And so you say earlier about how we prepare ourselves to be the best athlete when we play in front of 55,000 people. But there's a work for that. I mean, the work that we do before is as hard or even more than play the game. For us, one of the most difficult part in our career is the preparation that we have to do. For a 7:05 game, for example, myself, I show up every day at 12:30 p.m. to study and do the things that I got to do to give the best information to the pitcher or to my teammates for a 7:05 games. So if you think about that, it's a lot of work. It's not putting a uniform with spikes, grab a bat, and hit a ball and put it fair. No, it's a lot of work that we have to put on to be the best. And basically, that's the good part about our discipline. And basically, our job is all year long. I mean, we have I have a 4.5 months off. It's probably 3.5, but 2 months. But obviously, in my career that I played for 25 years, I always take 1 month out of the year off, not doing anything.
Yep.
And then I start to getting ready physically, and this part of the game, that's the most important part. For me, this was the most important for me, and I work for it. You have to work this part of the game because play sport is a grind. It's not easy. There's a lot of things that you're going through, and if you're not ready, you're gonna fail, right? You're gonna fail. So as long as you keep that right here, 100% ready to go, you'll be okay.
I think what I'm listening to Pudge say, it's all about commitment and consistency. I think without commitment, you'll never start. And then without consistency, you'll never finish. But just know there's always, like I said, there's going to be some struggles. There's going to be some distractions here and there. But just keep going. Always keep striving, understanding what your goal is.
Exactly.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it.
We have another question here.
Hey guys, quick question. Have any of your children wanted to follow in your footsteps? Do any of them play your sport?
Yes. My oldest son is 30 years old. Yeah, he plays for Minnesota Twins. He's in AAA. He has 12 years already in professional baseball, and he has almost 5 years service in the big leagues. And that's the one that played professional. The other two girls that I have, 26 and 22, no, they're home. They're like, one works. The other one just have a 2 months baby boy. So she's at home taking care of the baby boy. But yes, I have a son that plays baseball. So he's a little different frame than me. He's 6'3". Don't say that. Don't say that, okay? Don't say what you told me yesterday.
Okay, I'll say.
But yes, he's 6'3", but he's a big kid.
I'll say. I would say my kids, I have 3 girls, 2 boys. My youngest is 8. She just turned 8 and she's into everything. She's a gymnast. She likes gymnastics, and now she's trying to dibble and dabble in basketball. It makes me cringe watching her just bounce the ball with one hand. But my oldest son is 23. He's at Missouri State playing football. So he started late. He was kind of like myself. I was a late bloomer. He wanted to be a basketball player, and then his friends, was playing football. So he started in his 11th grade year. So his last couple of years played football. But he has potential. And I think that's where you start, with potential. And that potential is really not said to contain you, but it's really to kind of, ignite, provoke, and kind of, unleash what's inside of you. But my daughter, my high school daughter, she just graduated high school. She plays volleyball, just finished club. She's just got a full scholarship to Prairie View. So she'll be playing volleyball, going into the fall. Other kids, like I said, one of my daughters, she's just super smart. She's a girly girl, no sports. My other son, he's into tennis, IMG Academy, tennis player, and now he's dabbling into basketball as well. So never really forced my kids into doing anything. I think it's just kind of like you just let them, do what they want to do, what they fall in love with, and what they gravitate to and towards. I think us as parents, we just have to support them with whatever they want to do. And I think the most important thing is just being there for them. Like I said, I didn't have a dad growing up to really support me. When you talk about being in the stands and things of that nature, I never saw that. But I made it a point, obviously, to support my kids with what they have going on.
We have one more back there that he's not in sport, but he owns his own company, his own concrete company called Sem Block. So he's not in sport, but he's a businessman. So he's back there.
That's good.
Hi, I had a question. What is the most impactful piece of advice that you have received from a coach or a mentor?
A lot through my career. I've received so many great ones. You're always going to get some, obviously, good ones. When we play in the level that we play, for so many years, our coaches and our people that we are around in our job, obviously they're there for the best, and they give us the best sample and the best advices for us. But for me, it's all about obviously get great advices, good advices from people and coaches, but it's on me basically. And that part is got to be myself. How good I'm going to be playing the game, or how good I'm going to be in life. Because it's not only sport. You have to learn things in life. And I learn believe it or not. I'm 50 years old and I'm still learning new things every day, because you learn new things every day that someone tells you something and I'm like, wow, I've never heard that before. That's great. Thank you very much for the advice. So as long as we are alive, we're gonna receiving so many great advices. So my advice to you is just continue listen, because you're gonna keep listening to good things in life, and make sure you take it positive to yourself and move forward.
Yeah, and I think for me, like I said, I didn't have a father figure growing up. So as Pudge was alluding to, I mean, we have so many people that we encounter, you know, on our path, on our journey to be who we are and where we've gone. It's kind of hard to kind of pinpoint one thing, but throughout the course of my career, the receiver coaches that I've had, started in San Francisco, I had two great coaches, receiver coaches, Larry Kirksey, who coached the great Jerry Rice. And for him, you know, he'll tell you he had a chance to, you know, coach, you know, two of the greatest receivers of all time, and that's including myself. And George Stewart, he was my coach after a few years when Larry Kirksey left. And those two coaches, they saw something in me that, honestly, like I said, being drafted with the Niners, obviously on potential, on my physical attributes, which obviously was my length, my speed, things of that nature. But they consistently told me, you know, that I had the potential to become great, but I had to put that work into it. But I think the best advice, Coach Stewart gave me, Coach Larry Kirksey gave me, was just to be my own man. Obviously, I was very quiet. I was kind of reserved early on in my career because I was trying to find myself, trying to find my niche, just trying to absorb everything that I could with the greatness that I had around me to become who I became. And so, you know, obviously I started to get creative. People started to form opinions about me because of certain things that I did or I said, which were sometimes unfairly inaccurate. But he just told me, he's like, yo, be your own man. You can't be anybody else. And I had to realize that too, even from a professional standpoint, a personal standpoint. I used Jerry Rice as that barometer to be who I became as far as the athlete. Use that work ethic, my own work ethic. But in order to be successful, you have to be really kind of secure in who you are. I knew that I couldn't, from a standpoint of physically being what Jerry was, I couldn't be Jerry. And I think John Madden, he started calling me T.O. You know, everybody kept messing my name up. They started calling me Terrell, and Terrell is Terrell, but then, you know, T.O. stuck. And so T.O., there's two people, T.O. and then there's Terrell. On that football field, I'm T.O. You know, right here today in front of you guys, I'm Terrell. But once that, you know, I flipped that switch to be competitive, that's where it comes on. And so, like I said, a lot of people had a lot of things to say about me as far as my character and things of that nature. I didn't allow it to affect me. But those coaches, those individual conversations, those private conversations that we had, he said, be your own man. And that's what you have to do, be your own person. That's it? No question? I think we had a couple more questions in the back, unless you're trying to get to the golf course.
I appreciate you. I'm going to make it the best one, too. I appreciate you. I came all the way from Denver, Colorado. I just wanted to thank all you three gentlemen for all the knowledge and wisdom. I greatly appreciate it. I have a comment and a question. T.O., I've been a big fan of yours. I think you're the greatest of all time, receiver-wise. I argue with everybody in the barbershop every Friday, so I'm still kicking for you. So my question is this. I own a hyperbaric med spa, and I know you are one of the catalysts for hyperbaric oxygen therapy, and I just wanted to get your intake on recovery. And I know with athletes, a lot of them are doing the hyperbarics, but I wanted to just kind of ask you that question because, man, you look phenomenal. You look 25, man. So
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. So I wanted to just ask about your recovery, and you were the first guy that really put it on the map, and the reason why I went into business for hyperbaric oxygen therapy. So I wanted to just pick your brain on that before we get kicked out of here.
Well, you got a great haircut.
Yeah. Yeah, I can tell there's a lot of barbershop talk. Yeah, no hair. But to your point, I think for me, being an athlete, that's part of that process, part of the journey. We both can attest to that. Recovery, nutrition, all of that factors into being who we are, who we became. There's a lot of elements, to it. Everyone in here that's doing something, there's elements to what makes you successful or going to be successful. And I just happen to be blessed with a lot of people that I came in contact with that steered me in the right direction in order to be successful. It's just not always about talent. Obviously with every sport, there's the wear and tear. What do? You have to recover. You have to do the necessary things. You have to take care of your body to have longevity. You can't play 25 years in the major leagues without taking care of your body, doing the necessary things to sustain that. Myself, playing the position that I played, wide receiver, I played 15 years. The average for any player in the National Football League is 2 to 3 years. So for me, obviously, like I said, I wanted to be the best that I could be. And I think you think about some of the greatest that have ever done it. Look at what LeBron James is doing. It's an investment into what you want to do. Myself, understanding, becoming knowledgeable about hyperbaric, the chamber, what it does for you, your recovery. To be an athlete, to perform at the highest level, to optimize your performance, you have to take care of your body. And the hyperbaric chamber was one of those elements that I used to do that. Obviously, like I said, I didn't drink during the course of the season. My trainer told me what the effects of alcohol, what it did to your body. Not only is it not just good for you, but alcohol dehydrates you. A lot of athletes, when you talk about hamstring pull strains and things of that nature, when you see an athlete with so many injuries, part of it is probably because that athlete is dehydrated. Mm-hmm. And so for me, that's something that, again, a lot of trainers, they harp on it, they emphasize it. But you have to believe that, hydration is key. Your body is made up of 70+% water or what have you. So you have to maintain those elements of things that's going to have you optimize and perform at the highest level. So that's what I did. And I was just fortunate to become knowledgeable. And then the information that they gave me, I applied it. It had to be applicable to my routine every summer, every off season to become the best that I could be. So like you said, hyperbaric chamber, obviously it was just one of those elements to me to become, one of the greatest of all time.
This is the last question. Go ahead, Anthony.
Okay. As many of you guys know, SunWest is very involved in the autism community, and we take it to great heart. The services that the families need and the help they need. At what point, because for me, I didn't realize it until I had kids. At what point in your careers did you realize, or in your life, that we need to be charitable? Because I know, Iván, you're very heavily involved in various orphanages. And I've seen the work you do in Puerto Rico. You're always out there talking to the kids, helping. That's my question.
What was it?
At what point in your career or your life did you realize we need to be charitable and help out?
Hi, Anthony, how are you? To me, I've been doing it for a long, long time. Obviously, I start at very early age in my professional career. I have, actually, I was having one foundation before in Puerto Rico for kids, cancer kids, and I did that for over 15, 16 years, doing charity events, doing a lot of, softball games, and I didn't play golf at the time, so I didn't have no golf at the time, but I did it for a long time, and now I've been working with my wife together in the Posada de Moisés Foundation, and we basically we're having a great time. Everything that I do, I'm not doing it because I have to. It comes from my heart. And when everything comes from your heart and you wanted to do it, everything comes out great. And it doesn't matter if it's 1 penny or $1,000, $10,000 we raise. That to me is a blessing, just to be able to help these kids, or to help anyone, or to help people. For us, we are a big example of, we have to give back. And basically the reason that I do it is because I love it. And second is because I play a game for 25 years, and I play in front of 45, 48, 50,000 people. And that to me is a way to give back to all these fans that give me that support for me to play that long in my career. When I play, I did my best day in and day out, because obviously they pay to see a good show. I'm sure Theo is the same way. And for me, just go and do all these events every year, that's the only way that some of those fans that cannot be too close to me can do it. I mean, I always take pictures. I always go and sign, do this, do a bunch of stuff, because that's the only way they can be close to myself and have a picture. So for me, just be able just to go and keep doing what I'm doing. And let me tell you this, Anthony, as long as I'm alive, I'm going to keep doing every year. Okay? So that's my goal, to me, keep helping. And it's a bless that God give me, that I'm a good help to continue, helping in any way I can. And to me, that's is something that I love to do.
Yeah, and I think for me, honestly, man, I'm truly blessed. God has blessed me to be here today, share my story with you guys. To whom much is given, much is required. And so early on in my career, I didn't know what it was going to be like to become a professional football player. In some people's eyes, to become a star, a superstar, a megastar. I had no idea, what world I was entering into. But I learned along the way. And like I said, just watching, some of the older guys, the veterans, being in the locker room with Steve Young, Bryant Young, Jerry Rice, so many, great athletes that came, through that locker room, playing against, and, some of the greatest, the Deion Sanders of the world. But in that locker room, just watching how these guys, how they carried themselves. But for me, understanding how blessed and truly blessed, I am and was to play a sport. And like I said, to whom much is given, much is required. And I didn't understand the entirety of what just being an athlete, a professional athlete, was going to be like. But as Pudge said, you're going to be around kids. You're going to have people that look up to you. We all have, charities and organizations, things that are dear to our heart. And so obviously we're here, supporting autism. I'm very familiar with, families that are involved with that, that have kids and, with kids with autism. So I'm all about, supporting the right thing, and I'm using my path and my journey to do so. So anything that I feel connected with, that I feel like I can lend, my voice, my name, my likeness to do the right thing, then I'm always going to be in support of that. Sam, we met, and me being here is because of him. Like I said, for whatever reason, we crossed each other's paths, and we've done a number of these together. And so I don't take that, for granted. I understand and truly feel that for whatever reason, he was blessed with my presence. I was blessed with his presence. Now we're here, and we're blessing others, because of that. So I'm truly grateful, and hopefully I'm answering your question. But I'm thankful to be here and to be here to be able to share that. But again, to whom much is given, much is required. And anytime that I can help someone put a smile on a kid's face or what have you, do the right thing, then I'm here for it.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Great job. Another round of applause. All right, so as they walk out, so we're gonna go ahead and do a little bit of presentation, but we're also I'm gonna bring in a sponsor that's gonna help put this event together. But we're also going to give away a couple of nights when you want to come back with your family another time. We're going to give that away right now also. Again, another applause for T.O. and Pudge. So what we're going to do is we're going to have lunch coming up around 12. We're going to have the Morgan presentation coming up right now. So right now what I want to do is just, how many people know Daleen? Daleen, you want to come up and say just a couple of words? Okay, come on guys, give a round of applause to Daleen.
Good morning. I didn't plan on coming up and speaking, so forgive me, I am a little bit nervous, so bear with me, or I would have had like 17 shots before I got up here. I've known Sam, 15 years, but I haven't heard your name in like 10 years. So I get this text message that he's holding an event, and I said, what do I got to do to be part of it? Because anything Sam's been a part of has always been incredible. So first and foremost, thank you. Second is I want to talk about WFG. Does anybody know who WFG is? I need it a little bit louder. Do you know who WFG is? Okay. WFG is the 6th fastest growing title company in the country. Right now we're in 46 states. I want you to utilize your title rep. And that's what they do as far as when it comes to WFG. We're not donut, bagel, and coffee people. We're people that sit down with you, figure out how to market, create, cultivate, and create a marketing plan and hold you accountable. Also with that, being able to execute and you be successful. So with that, thank you guys.
A round of applause for Daleen, guys. All right, so let's get energized. We're going to learn about Morgan very soon, coming up. All right, so everybody get up, stand up. All right, let's get that energy going. Once more, shake it off. Close your eyes. Let's do a little shake. All right, take a deep breath. And don't go to the restroom right now just because, don't worry, okay? All right, take another deep breath. Okay, this time I need 2 volunteers to come up front. Okay, come on up. All right, good. Come on stage. Okay, need 2 more volunteers? Look, they're all excited too. They're excited to be on stage. All right, so first of all, thank you so much for coming up. A round of applause for the guts that these guys showed. So, we talk about a lot of different things. And, one of the things we always talk about is, how do we get to the next level? How do we break those chains? When, we used to have circuses, what they used to do is they used to get a baby elephant. And the baby elephant, they would go ahead and bring to a circus and they would tie a chain around his ankle. The baby elephant had to sleep and eat at the same spot. As the baby elephant became an adult elephant, it had enough power to break the chain and go free. But it didn't. It still ate and slept at the same spot. What's crazy is that if they stop feeding the adult elephant and put food 10 feet away, the adult elephant dies of starvation. How many of us have those limiting beliefs, those chains around us, where everything we want to do is right there, but we have conditioned ourselves to not take that chance? Raise our hands, be honest. Okay? So today is the day to break those chains. So before we get started, we wanted to create some energy. So you guys are going to go ahead and lead this group onto incredible affirmations to get everyone in the right energy. Are you guys ready to do this? All right. Take a deep breath in. You guys are the ones doing it. So close your eyes, please. Okay? Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. On 3, with incredible passion, with incredible energy, this time I want you to say, I am the best, I am the best, I am the best. 1, 2, 3. I am the best, I am the best, I am the best. Was that good? No, let's do it again. Okay? 1, 2, 3. I am the best, I am the best, I am the best. Okay, thank you, great job. So, stay on stage. So the challenge is that, why that's important to know I'm the best is that you have to be your biggest fan. If you don't believe in you, no one's going to believe it, and nobody else is going to believe in you. Does that make sense? Let's have a little bit of fun. Okay, rotate your feet counterclockwise. As you do that, make an 8 with your hand and don't let your feet change directions. Everybody put their hand up. Up, down, right, left, up, down, right, left, up, down. Make a circle with your fingers. Look at the circle. Put it on your chin. Chin, I said chin, guys, chin. Okay? It's amazing how the mind can work, how persuasion works, how you're able to go ahead and do some amazing things. But today is your day. So with these 4 people, I want them to end it with affirmation. You guys don't say anything. Since you guys chose to be on stage, you guys do the affirmations. Ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Wow, that's a guts, guys. A lot of applause. Thank you. Are you almost ready? Okay, good. So we're going to get Pavan back on stage so we can get this presentation on Morgan. A round of applause for Pavan.
How's that? Okay, great. So today we're going to talk about something really exciting, which is really the next evolution in the mortgage and real estate industry. And we're going to start with blockchain. Blockchain and open ledger technology. Right. And a lot of you are thinking, well, that's crypto, right? Why are we talking about crypto, right? And y'all thinking, well, Bitcoin just fell from 60,000, 65,000 to 20,000, and maybe it's going to fall some more. And what is all this crypto stuff? So what I'm telling you is we're not talking crypto. I do not own even 1 Bitcoin. Right? I don't own Bitcoin. I don't own Ethereum and none of the coins. That's not what this is about. This isn't about doing mortgages by buying. It isn't about buying real estate with crypto. This is about blockchain. Right? This is the fundamental technology that makes crypto work, and we've figured out how to apply it to the real estate and lending industry in a way that no one else has ever done before. And we're going to show you how that works, and we're going to show you because of that, and none of this room is full of originators and realtors, we're going to show you that because of that, you can buy real estate with basically a few clicks. Okay? And with open ledger technology, you can buy real estate with a few clicks and connect all the parties together in a very simple process. So with that said, I'm going to bring on stage my loan officer, my home buyer, and my realtor. So that's going to be Alina, May Mackey, and Perla. So are they ready? I think they're getting wired up. There we go. All right. So, I don't look so happy.
I was in the bathroom. Okay, I'm ready.
We're gonna, just a little background. Perla, you're like one of the largest realtors.
Yeah, so I am a Vegas native. I am one of the first Latina brokers here. So for all the Latinas, I'm very, and so it's been a tremendous honor to help Pavan put this together. This is my first acting, so hope I make it.
Well, you're gonna just act like a realtor.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah. And May, who's the most wonderful person in the world.
Why, thank you.
More wonderful than Perla.
Yes.
And May's been with the firm for
14 years.
14 years.
Thank you.
And she closes all the loans. She's our operations manager, and she does like nothing would happen without her. But today she's going to be a borrower. Miss May Mackey is going to buy a house with the technology. And here is Alina, bona fide loan officer, truly licensed in how many states?
30-something.
30-something states. And coincidentally happens to be my daughter as well. So Alina is using Morgan. She logs in Morgan. And what happened, Alina?
Okay, Morgan. So I just found out that May Mackey, she got a raise.
Woo woo.
And now, she might be able to, she's going to be able to qualify for a bigger purchase price.
So Alina tells Morgan, May got a raise. Okay. So Morgan, so she sends a message to Morgan. And Morgan responds, gives the borrower's name. Morgan knows it's Alina's loan. Looks up the loan number automatically. Understands what she's saying, that May got a raise. May definitely deserves a raise.
May deserves it.
Y'all heard that.
Yeah.
You heard that.
The world heard that. I told her to take a picture.
It's on video. Everyone, whole world's seeing this. Okay. And Morgan asks Alina, do you have a new pay stub? And Alina responds.
Yeah, so I have the new pay stub and I upload it to Morgan, and Morgan's going to automatically review everything, do all the calculations or new income or new loan amount and everything automatically as soon as I upload the document. Software called Kumar, and he's going to review everything automatically. As soon as I put the document up there, it'll be reviewed. I don't have to do any calculations myself, so it makes it very easy. And as you can see, it'll be reviewed in 1 hour, so it's pretty fast. And now I am curious what's the pricing for today. So I asked Morgan, is there even any updates in the pricing?
So basically, when she uploaded the document to Morgan, she uses the phone, takes a picture, uploads the document. Morgan sends it to our automatically. So there's two pieces that work together, Morgan and Kumar. Kumar is our automatic underwriting rules engine. And that will, any document you upload to Morgan, right, it's guaranteed to be reviewed and hopefully signed off, right? All you loan original, you've submitted a document, you want it to be reviewed and signed off by underwriting instantly. So we guarantee to review and sign it off in 1 hour. And then Alina asks, what is the pricing today? And
yes, there's pricing, and Morgan will automatically give me all the pricing options for today by pulling this rope on the app.
Slides it, and all the pricing options come up. Okay, and then Morgan says, after she selects the pricing option, Morgan says, your loan's ready for processing. Right? And how long does processing normally take in this industry?
It depends, but a couple days.
It feels like forever.
It feels like years, but it's not. It's like.
Feels like years.
It feels like years, yeah.
Right. Okay, so SunWest has automated processing. So you press the button, the processor, and in minutes the loan's processed. Okay, so the loan's processed Okay, so Alina will say, the processor, do your thing, loans processed, and your approval, true approval, is received by tomorrow morning. So Morgan is asking Alina to whether she wants to proceed. And Morgan's basically saying he's going to do all these different things. Disclosures, and there's like 20, 30 things that processing does, verifications, review documents, and all that.
And then I'll say I confirm that I do want to have the loan proceed.
She gets to select all the options.
Help you, Pavan.
All right.
Okay.
So now it's next morning, 8 a.m. Okay, so Lena's done. This was it. As far as the loan officer is concerned, she was completed.
You're a rock star.
Right.
So much work I did.
Best
So
loan
much work
officer
just
ever.
typing in
Just
documents.
uploaded the document, told Morgan what to do, hit the button. And now, next morning, May gets a text message from Morgan saying, you got a text message?
Oh, I'm approved.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lena.
So Morgan sends her a text message saying, you are now ready to purchase your house with a true approval NFT. Right? Conditionally guaranteed by SunWest. And what that means is you can make an offer.
Right. The approval is so very important because with that approval, I can put sellers in a bidding war for my loan because there's no contingencies. It's just as good as cash buddy.
And as you all know, the market is shifting to now be a buyer's market.
I thought you were going to say something else.
Huh?
I thought you were going to say something else.
You thought I was going to say what?
The market is shifting.
Shifting, yes. Yeah. All right. And it's a true approval NFT, a non-fungible token. And that's where we go into the blockchain open ledger. We'll talk about that a little later as to what that is and how that works and why that's different and is necessary in this process, right? So this is not, typically in the loan business, you get a pre-approval letter,
right?
Which really, we all know doesn't really mean anything. There's no guarantee on it, there's no commitment. But this is a commitment. For every true approval that SunWest has issued, we always came through. Every single one, funded on time, never backed out of a true approval. So it's guaranteed by SunWest. And by making an NFT and putting it in the blockchain, makes the process even more transparent and easier. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, so there's her NFT. Okay, and when she clicks on it, she can see her approval. All inside Morgan. And so she opens it. This is her NFT, comes up. And keep going. Okay. So she asked, so Morgan gave her the NFT, gave me a chance to look at her true approval and verify it. Okay. And now Morgan's asking May, can I add your loan officer to this conversation? And what do you say, May?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay. So, go ahead, Alina.
Yeah, so I say congratulations, May. You now have your true approval NFT. And what that means is you can shop around with confidence that, you already have the loan and that you can actually place sellers in a bidding war for your NFT, for your true approval NFT. And then I'm going to ask you if you want to lock in your loan for 90 days at, in certain interest rate, 5.875 interest rate, 6% APR. And with this, you can you can look around and shop for the property without losing your interest rate.
So remember, all this is happening in minutes at 8 a.m. while she's still having her coffee, right? So everyone's interconnected instantaneously, right? Okay, and this is the rate lock confirmation that that May Mackey gets. And
Because I
she-
said yes, lock the rate.
Yes.
And then congratulations, you locked rate in for 90 days and you can go shopping for your dream house without getting worried that your luck is going to expire.
So remember the rate lock confirmation, everything's all happening inside Morgan. The confirmation appears in the chat log and she can scroll back up and down, right? Just like any other messaging system and view that confirmation later on as well. Okay. All right. So in between, now that she had approval and a fee, then what did you do then?
Then I went shopping for my dream home.
Right.
And I found one.
And you found one. Maybe you found multiple. Maybe you like 3 or 4 homes.
Right.
Okay. But we're going to run you through a scenario where she found one specific home, right? And so then May goes back into Morgan. And what do you tell Morgan?
That I want to buy this house at 123 Main Street with my true approval for $300,000.
Okay. And then Morgan responds automatically, I requested your realtor, Perla.
Yeah.
Okay. And Morgan also notifies May. So what has happened at that point? Morgan sent a text message to Perla so that Perla can join in the conversation. So wherever she is, she's normally on vacation in Fiji or something.
But I get the text message, right? I
On Fiji.
work
She's in
everywhere.
Fiji on vacation.
On Canada skiing.
Yeah. She gets a text message, and while May is like, I want this house, right? And Morgan is notifying May that the property that she's requested is also in Morgan's listing database.
Right.
And so then, you want to see the property, May?
Yes, I would like to see the property.
I will show you the property.
Thank you.
And then I'll make an offer.
So go ahead, May. Click the.
Click to view it.
To view the
click to view
listing.
it.
There's a
And
beautiful
then the
property.
property comes up right inside Morgan, all the information.
You love the toilet, right? I'm going to move forward.
Well, what do you normally ask? What would you normally tell a home buyer to convince them?
I mean, well, in this case, that she found her property, most of the time it's going to be within their budget and, the location that they're looking for, right? This system is completely different from the way we even do real estate. And it took me about 2 meetings with Pavan to understand it. And as I break it down for me, because I don't get it and break it down. But basically the system, after you submit an offer, you can submit multiple offers. You can actually do 2, 3 properties, contrary to how we do business right now. And what happens is that the NFT will go into contract with the listing that answers first. So if there's no way for you to go into multiple contracts with different properties because it'll automatically lock in when someone answers. So if I'm a listing agent and obviously this technology is starting to be used, I want to make sure I'm checking my email and I'm checking my messages, because otherwise I might not respond and someone else might respond to her offer and they'll go under contract with that offer.
Right. So basically, because it's open ledger technology and everything's transparent, right? There's no way, right? Open ledger and blockchain means it's impossible to cheat it. Right? Everyone knows what everyone's doing, and it's impossible to circumvent it. So she can say, I'm interested in these 5 properties that I'm willing to buy. I've got the money.
Right.
The true approval NFT is the money. I've got the money.
With no loan contingencies,
Right.
because once it goes through here, we have no contingencies within those seconds that the system processed it.
Exactly. So I've got the money, and I've talked to 5 listing agents. So you've talked to your selling agent, and your selling agents talked to 5 listing agents. Says, here's the money, here's a proposal, right? And the first one to accept it wins. So you can't defraud sellers either, because the seller knows that once he accepts, it's done.
Right.
Right. So there's no, the sellers can't defraud the buyers can't defraud the sellers, because it's all on the blockchain.
Right.
Okay. So Morgan is asking May, please confirm you wish to proceed with the purchase. Do you want to buy that property?
Hell yeah.
For 300,000, it's a steal.
In
Take
Corona,
it.
yeah.
So we confirmed.
Right.
Excellent choice.
And so Perla was added to the conversation, so she's seeing all this
Right.
at the same time.
And I let May know that I'm submitting her no loan contingency offer right away. And then I'm asking her to place her $3,000 earnest money with Morgan.
Right.
So she's actually going to place her money into Morgan.
Right. So Morgan has a secure crypto wallet component that can link into your bank account. So, and the reason the money is placed with Morgan, which would be really a SunWest Trust account,
Right.
right, is because the smart contract is all tied together with the offer. Okay.
Right.
And that's way sellers know that it's not going anywhere.
Right.
Okay.
It's secure.
And so you want to go into your wallet?
I absolutely want to go into my wallet.
Okay. So we're going to our secure
Ooh, so
crypto
shiny.
wallet. Shiny. Okay, so Morgan welcomes May into her wallet. And again, it's all on the same screen. It just changes colors. It changes colors to black. So now she knows that she's in her secure area and no one else does. So even though the conversation was going on with Elena and Perla, when she's in her wallet, only May can see this, right? Okay, so what is Morgan saying here? You can go through ACH, basically an ACH process, give an authorization to transfer the money. So you say, so you want to go forward?
Yes.
Okay. She says yes. Okay, and then the electronic funds, the e-sign from inside Morgan. So Morgan gives an e-sign document to the borrower. Are you going to sign?
Yes, I'm going to sign.
You can click sign?
Yes.
All right. She clicks sign. Are you sure? It's $3,000. It's going to come out of your bank account.
I'm positive. I got a raise.
Yeah, okay.
I can afford it.
It's all good.
Okay. So Morgan's now saying, okay, you gotta sign. It's there. If she ever wants to go back and see the document, she can click that within the Morgan chat log. She's also received it in her email. So she knows she's given the authorization. Okay. Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Let's go. Okay. So she enters the account number. So pause here for a minute. And this is interesting. If you look at, I'm going to geek out for a minute. I'm going to go into the tech stuff a little bit. So at the bottom of the screen, you see where, and this where the furniture is kind of covering it up, so I'm going over here. You see where it's asking her for the information. Can you please enter the routing number? Okay. And we put a lot of effort into this design and the approach. This is a very different way to design a user interface. And the whole thing about Morgan, the whole thing about the technology is empathetic. It's supposed to make you relaxed. It's supposed to help you relax. It's supposed to get things done smoothly and help you relax. So we look like around the world for inspiration. And we looked at ancient Tibetan manuscripts and how they were written, right? And we figured, the ultimate place where you could come to peace and be Zen is Tibet. And so that user interface was inspired by how ancient Tibetan manuscripts were kept in wooden scrolls. So she just answers the questions one at a time in the wooden scrolls. Okay, all right, so now Morgan's talking some more. So you've given Morgan the account number and your account type and your ABA number. You've e-signed authorization, and $3,000 will be pulled out of your account. to a SunWest trust account. You good with that?
I'm perfectly fine with that.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So this is telling me that you've delivered the 3,000 to Morgan, and the funds are going to be in the trust account within 48 hours.
Okay, because the reason it's 48 hours because that's how long an ACH takes to clear.
Right.
Right. So normally, what do buyers normally do when they give you a trust?
They usually wire.
Wire.
Yeah. Same thing.
Same thing. Okay. Okay. So now Morgan is giving Perla instructions. So remember now, at this point, the color has changed. So we're no longer in May's secure wallet. Now, so Perla and Elena never saw your account information, right?
Perfect.
That's all private to you.
Perfect.
Okay. So now we're back in the public or the group chat, group conversation, and Morgan is basically saying,
Send the offer and copy me.
right,
Yeah, so you got to copy Morgan.
right.
Yep.
So bottom line is when you all do an offer, it's almost always you use DocuSign, right?
Right.
Right. And so Morgan you saw earlier, Morgan has its own integrated e-sign built into Morgan, but it's also integrated with the major e-sign systems like DocuSign. So all you got to do is when you send the offer out, you CC Morgan at SWMC. So when that way Morgan knows everything that happens on that offer. Okay.
Excellent. I've emailed the offer to both of you.
Right. Okay.
That's the offer.
Right. Okay. So you email the offer.
Yeah.
And the offer, the email
You
came
say
up.
yes.
Now you got the offer.
I got the offer, and I
Sign
say
the
yes.
offer.
Yeah,
Let's move forward.
Yeah. Okay. You opened your email, you clicked it, and you signed it. Okay. Okay. So because Morgan was CC'd on the offer, okay, when she signed it, Morgan got notified, and she took the offer. Now that Morgan has the true approval, the $3,000, and the offer, right? They're all now permanently, immutably stored on the blockchain. All of that information. So no one can change it. No one can say you didn't make that. What are the things that could go wrong in this process, in this communication problem?
The communication in a normal transaction?
Yes. in a normal-
The earnest money sometimes doesn't get delivered, which makes the transaction fall through. Or, one of the parties to the transaction doesn't end up signing it, so you don't have it fully executed. Those are the things that you have to double check when you're making them.
Yeah. And what about communication problems you'll hit sometimes?
Yeah, communication problems is you have to physically communicate with every party involved, right? If there's 2-3 borrowers and then the listing agent. So this in the blockchain just keeps everything so everyone transparent. Everybody knows what's going on.
Exactly. Okay, so Morgan received it, put it all together, put it on the blockchain. It's all bound together, right? The money, the true approval, and the offer.
Right.
Okay, but all that is at this point, it's not a purchase contract, just an offer because the seller hasn't accepted it.
Right.
Okay, so let's see. Do you think the seller's going to accept this offer?
Yes.
Right. So now, may want to take another look at her true approval. So she take a look at it. Take a closer look. It gives her the instructions, do's and don'ts, what not to do until the loan closes. But what's interesting here at the bottom of the screen, it says you have 5 offers pending seller acceptance. So May is able to put this out on the blockchain, basically in a sense, putting her true approval NFT for bid. Right? And the first seller to accept her offer
Goes into contract.
So it's impossible for her to get into multiple contracts at the same time. She can only get into one contract.
Correct.
Okay.
May, I just spoke with the listing agent. He accepted your offer and true approval NFT. Congratulations.
Woo woo! Good job. Good job.
You own a $300,000 home
And I'm in heaven.
Yeah.
It's always been a dream of mine.
Right. And then
And a
one,
raise.
one of the things I want y'all to pay attention is the loan officer didn't have any work here.
Yay.
Just for a few minutes in the beginning, right? Quoting the rate, right? The most important thing a loan officer do, why is a loan officer licensed, is to quote rate and terms
Right.
and to advise on when to lock, right? That's what the loan officer did. Right. What's the most important thing that the realtor has to do?
Make the offer.
Make the offer,
Yeah.
right? And advise the borrower that, no, that's not, that house has got this problem, that problem, this problem.
Right.
I'm not sure you should think.
Right.
I think you should rethink about that.
Yeah. I don't like that timing.
Okay. So, after Perla spoke to the listing agent, and the listing agent accepted the offer, because Morgan was CC'd on the DocuSign, Morgan was automatically notified, right, that the seller accepted the offer,
Right.
right? So now Morgan responds into the group messaging system that your true pool of NFT is now committed to the purchase of this property, and the transaction is securely recorded in the blockchain. Right? And you will own this property in a few days, just as soon as the appraisal, right, and title is received and verified. Okay, now here's some other magic. We have something called early PIW, which we didn't show this because the script is already too long. They're tired of standing up here. So for many cases, you can avoid the appraisal altogether. And we do this all the time. Now, in this case, maybe it was a VA borrower, zero down. There's no PIW for a VA purchase. Okay. But as you all know, there's PIWs for many loans. And there's an ability before the offer is submitted even to find out whether it's eligible for PIW. So and Morgan can check that for you. And if it's eligible for PIW, it would submit the offer with no loan contingency and no appraisal contingency, right? Then the only contingency really there is title, right? And that's it, okay? So basically, with this done, your property will close in a few days. You'll be an owner in a few days, right? And as soon as the appraisal and the title report is back, Morgan will receive it. Actually, Morgan will hand it over to Kumar, the underwriting engine, to review the appraisal and title. It's all automated. The review, when we receive an appraisal and we receive a title, we take the data, and it's an automatic review, right? There's almost no human touch to it, okay? And so it's done very quickly, okay? And you can own this property. Is there anything else after this? Great. Who says great? May says great. What happens after that? Is there anything? Is that the end of this?
Okay.
Okay. And then, of course, Morgan's going to remind you the do's and don'ts.
Right.
Okay. So the do's and don'ts, that's a good point. Okay. Don't get hit by a bus, May.
Don't get hit by a bus. Don't go out and buy a car.
Right.
Don't change jobs. But why would I? Because I just got a raise.
That makes no sense.
Right. So that's the people ask, okay, well, when does the guarantee not the guarantee, right? If May gets hit by a bus, right? Obviously, there has to be a borrower at the time of closing because you still got to sign, right? So
no buses.
No buses. I have a quick question, Pavan. So when you actually get a waiver, right? Because Morgan does everything within a few minutes. It underwrites, it processes, it does everything. What's the turnaround time if I make this offer and May gets a waiver? What does a turnaround time look like?
Okay, so that's a good question. So first of all, the waiver, if you think back at the beginning of the script, May got the waiver before the offer was made.
Right.
So you as a realtor have complete certainty of what's going to happen.
Right.
Right. So now, what's the turnaround time after the offer is made with the waiver? We're closing loans in 8 days, 10 days. Right. It's as long as it takes to get the appraisal and the title back.
Unless we have a waiver. Do we have a waiver?
If you have an appraisal waiver,
right.
If you have a PIW, and remember you would get the PIW waiver
right.
before
You make the offer.
before you make the offer.
Right.
Then, as long as it takes to get the title back.
So like
And,
7 to 8 days.
For those loans, we're ready to close in like 2 or 3 days, because you usually get title back in 2 days. It doesn't take,
Yeah.
most titles are electronic, right? So,
Because I saw Jennifer close one in 7 days. That's
Right.
why I was asking.
right, you gotta wait the 7-day trade
Yeah.
trade waiting period. So even though, and we close, sometimes we close them in 5 days.
Right.
There's a trick to that, because there's a way around, not around the trade rule, but there's a way to do it and still be in the trade rule.
So about a week, give or
Yeah,
take.
you can, if no appraisal waiver, you can definitely do it in a week.
Wow.
Okay? And that's it. You own the house. $300,000 in Corona.
You're all invited to
Right.
the housewarming. Bring a bottle.
Right? And it's so easy to be a loan officer with this system.
Yeah, you can just chill.
That's it.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Best realtor ever.
Who remembers "Walk Like an Egyptian" song? Yeah, you walk like an Egyptian. Right. What does Egypt have to do with blockchain, crypto, and NFT? Anybody want to take a guess? Hieroglyphics. That's a good guess. All right. So what if I told you? Would you be surprised if I told you that the NFT technology, right, which is all the rave today, how much of those NFTs with the monkeys, how much are those selling for? Like a lot of money, right? What is that called? Yeah, Bored Ape, right? Yeah, who's heard of Bored Ape NFTs? Yeah. How much does it sell for? It's like a lot of money, right? Yeah. Right. And what if I told you that technology is actually 4,000 plus years old? Right? It isn't new. Okay. You find that surprising? The ancient Egyptians had figured it out. They had bored apes in ancient Egypt. I think maybe they had bored pharaohs. I don't know. Okay. So, in ancient Egypt, agricultural society, they used to track land on papyrus scrolls. Kept track of who owned what piece of land. Right? And the papyrus scrolls was kept in the pharaoh's office, in the pharaoh's chamber. Right? That was their county recorder's office. Okay. Pharaoh had full control of the papyrus scrolls, and if he didn't like you, if you upset the Pharaoh, then your scroll get ripped up, thrown away, right? But that papyrus scroll is an NFT, non-fungible token, okay? Because that scroll, that piece of paper, is your evidence that you own that piece of land. That's all an NFT is, right? Is your evidence that you own this. So, fast forward 4,000 years, here we are today. Instead of papyrus scrolls, which is under a central registry, which is not much different than a recorded security instrument, right? It's in a central registry. It's a piece of paper in a central registry, and you hope the Pharaoh keeps it safe, right? And we had a situation I think there was a year or two ago, a situation in the county in Louisiana where their server crashed with all of the recorded security instruments. And there was no backup, right? I'm not sure whatever became of that and if they ever figured it out, right? So that's the problem with the old technology. And if you wanted to ever see it, you got to go to the Pharaoh's office and ask him for it, to go through the bureaucracy, and hopefully he's in a good mood and the Pharaoh says, yes, here's your document, right? And yes, you do own this. And if there's ever a fire or something, your you're toast, right? And it's not really very public because it's hard to get this information. Okay, and title companies have done a great job of keeping this information on their servers and keeping track of it all. And they make fairly, there's a lot of technology out there that makes it fairly accessible to figure out who owns what, right? But it's all done through different services, different service providers. And we're not really talking about today, we're not talking about changing how security instruments are recorded, but what we're talking about is how do we take that same blockchain technology and apply it to the purchasing of a house. Okay, so so what you saw earlier with the True Approval NFT is there is no central authority. Right? When you get a true approval on the blockchain, there is no central authority of keeping track of that. Right? It's in the public. Right? It's secure, it's in the public, and everyone can see it. Everyone can see your true approval. Everyone can see how many houses you bid on. Okay? And when you execute that smart contract, right, it's instantaneous, right? That you execute the smart contract and you accept the seller, is bound, is closed, right? And no other sellers are going to get confused or mixed up. Okay, so what we've done is taken 4,000 euro technology, added some computer technology to it, open ledger, blockchain technology, and now it's accessible to everybody. The real estate market is an interesting market because it is, it's like multi-trillion-dollar annual market, and all the transactions that happen is person to person, all what they call over the counter. It's all person to person. Right? It is the ideal market for blockchain. It's completely decentralized. Right? And if it's completely decentralized, you need to store the transaction, how that transaction is happening, when it's happening, who it's happening with. You need to store it in a decentralized open ledger format. And that's what these true approvals, that's what the NFT is all about. So you make a true approval, you get a true approval, SunWest issues the coin, it's guaranteed, there's real money behind it, right? Not crypto money, but real money. Right, remember, this isn't about crypto, this isn't about Bitcoin or Ethereum. I don't own any of that stuff. Right? This is about taking blockchain technology and making it do real work. Right? It's about bringing, yes. Excuse me? What does it stand for? Oh, it stands for non-fungible token. Right? So non-fungible means that this token is not the same as that token. Like if you have 2 quarters, they're fungible because you can replace 1 quarter with another one, right? So a quarter is a quarter. But an NFT means this is only one, right? So if you have a true approval NFT and your friend has a true approval NFT, they're not swappable because yours is just for you, right? Because your approval is yours and your friend's approval is his, right? You can't interchange the two. And if you make an offer to a seller with that one and the seller accepts it, then it's bound on the blockchain and it's permanent and it's permanently recorded. And because of the nature of the contract, you are required to, you only have 2 choices at that point. Either close, right? Or if you back out, you lose your earnest money deposit. And it's automatic, right? Because your earnest money deposit, your commitment to fund, right? Your SunWest true approval, and the purchase contract, okay? All 3 of those are on the blockchain, is committed, is public. There's no way around it. So once you hit accept and you say, yes, I want to buy this property, and yes, Now we kind of did it kind of a little bit lightly, where May just saying yes, I want to put in an offer on this property, and simple yes, almost too easy. Just type in yes, tell Morgan yes, and I've got the I've accepted the contract, right? But there is real responsibility, real money that's trading hands. Okay, and real obligation as a buyer. Once you click those little buttons and say yes, you're obligated to perform and execute, right, and make the mortgage payments afterwards, and all of those kinds of things, right? Right. So don't let the simplicity and the ease of this fool you. Like there's real responsibility, right? The technology has made it so that buyers and sellers can come together more readily, so that listing agents, in this example we didn't show it, but we could have asked Morgan, and Morgan invite the listing agent. And Morgan could have pulled the listing agent into the conversation, so everyone's talking at the same time, right? Right? Listing agents, selling agents, the loan officer, the borrower, right? They're getting connected in real time, wherever they are, right? In this example, they were all in one place, but in real life, it doesn't work that way. Everyone's somewhere else. At 8 a.m. every morning, when your borrower gets the true approval, I'm sure your borrower is at home and you're somewhere else, right? At home or an appointment or something like that. And yes, it does. And if we go back and look at the slides, when the loan officer, Lena, pressed the button, yes, go ahead and process it. Okay. The first thing, if you look at this, it says, I'm going to do these, 520 things. The number one most thing that it listed out was disclosures. Right? It will automatically send the disclosures to the borrower. Right? So when you hit the button, the processor, it does about 20, 30 things. Okay? And it all happens in minutes. Right? And the most important thing it does, one of the most important things it does is send the disclosures to the borrower. And on a TBD, when you don't have a property, it sends early disclosures, right? It sends you don't have to send disclosures then, but communication is key. So it sends the borrower, an early LE, right? So the borrower knows what he's getting into, right, up front.
Pavan, do you want to give him info on how, that was one of my agent's information right now, how loan officers will be able to get a hold of this technology?
Good question. So you can get a hold of this technology by partnering with SunWest. Okay, so that means SunWest is a multi-channel organization. We have retail, wholesale, and correspondent, right? And I don't really care about the channels. I know like others in the industry will say, we're wholesale only, we're retail only, we're this, we're that. I only care about one thing, right? Which is the consumer, the borrower. And by extension of that is the loan officer, right? So to me, my client is the loan officer, right? Regardless of whether they're SunWest loan officer retail or whether they're working through one of our wholesale broker partners or through one of our correspondent partners, I'm serving the loan officer, because when I serve the loan officer, I serve the borrower, right? And so by being a partner of SunWest, you get access to this technology. Yes. Yes, good question. It's like we're north of 50 patents right now. Yes. We have patents in the U.S., Canada, UK, and India. Using the blockchain through the artificial intelligence to track the true approvals and to put sellers in a bidding war for the buyer, right? Buyers are anyways in a bidding war, right? For sellers put buyers in a bidding war, so it's natural, it's part of the process. But now, right? Now sellers are in a bidding war for the buyer's NFT, for the buyer's true approval NFT, right? Because and the bidding war means whoever accepts it first, right? Right? Buyer makes an offer. Everyone sees the buyer's made 10 offers. You don't see who he made an offer to. You just see that he's got 10 offers, right? And whoever acts first is done. It's closed. It's instantaneous. It's immutable. It's done, right? And the money will be there at closing, right? SunWest has never failed to deliver on true approval. The money will be there at closing, right? Is there any other question? Yes.
Hey, Pavan, thanks. I don't have a question. As CEO of All American Home Mortgage, I just wanted to take the time to thank Pavan and Sam, wherever you are, for inviting myself and 15 or 20 of our colleagues to this function. When it's all said and done, we're in the people business, right? People do business with people. So I want to thank Pavan and Sam for having us here and for taking care of our operation for about 6 or 8 years, and especially Suresh. Can you stand up? This gentleman here takes care of everything at All American. Our team can call him morning, afternoon, or night, and Suresh is always there. And there are very few fires, but when a fire comes up, we know that we have the head of the fire department to put it out. Sam and Pavan, congratulations on your new quest here with blockchain and its programs. We just know that we represent 47 institutional lenders, and SunWest is one of the top 2 or 3 in our product box. So for those of you who are here for the first time and don't know SunWest, it's all about people and it's all about integrity, right? Integrity is what a man does when nobody is watching. SunWest, if something comes up and they need to fix it, they will fix it. The same can't be made about a lot of other companies that have 1-800 numbers, that there's just nobody at the other end of that phone when there's a problem. So again, thanks for Pavan for having ourselves and our team here for the presentation. Congratulations. Thank you, sir. As a Marine, we appreciate your service.
Thank you so much, Scott. You've been a wonderful, wonderful partner for many years, and it's a pleasure serving you and your originators and your borrowers. It's always a great transaction. Any other questions? Yes.
Hey, I have a question on the actual money transfer at closing. That's not done through any sort of actual blockchain technology. Is it actual wire that goes to escrow, or are escrow companies accepting payments from an alternative source that you're providing?
No, that's a really good question. So pretty much Fannie Mae came out with guidance, I don't know, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, where basically they said they're not going to accept crypto assets and not to consider crypto assets. So no, there is absolutely no crypto, what everyone thinks about crypto as Bitcoin or whatever, crypto money. There's no crypto money involved in this in any way. This has nothing at all to do with crypto money. Right? This has to do with underlying really, really important technology, which is blockchain. And just to put it in perspective, and I'm going to get to your complete question in a minute. To put it in perspective, blockchain today is where the internet was in the early 90s, right? And the internet in the early 90s was like really only used by the scientific community to exchange some emails. They're used by Department of Defense, obviously, and to share information on papers and so forth, right? And back then it was sort of, people were thinking about, this could be used for commerce. We don't know how, but it could be used for commerce, but gee, isn't this fun? Right? Gee, isn't this fun that we could share documents, right? So blockchain is similar, right? Gee, isn't this fun? We can make our own money on it. Okay, and I'm not trivializing it. It's $1 trillion+ market cap of crypto money out there, but I think the next act for the blockchain, right, is not the next act for blockchain goes well beyond crypto money, right? All forms of crypto assets. The next act of blockchain is to use the technology for real commerce, right? And use it for what was meant to be, which is meant to equalize society. It's meant to take away central control, right? There's a reason, the reason we got the hieroglyphics up there, right? Do you want the pharaohs of the world to control your destiny, right? Do you want your documents, your information, right? Who you are, controlled by the pharaohs of the world? Right? That's the question you gotta ask yourself. If you want freedom, right? If you want to be in control of your own destiny and not have to be dependent on some other authority to say whether you can or can't do this, right? Or making sure that they do their job right so that you don't lose track of your property or lose track of your contract or whatever it is, right? Then you should be all in on blockchain technology. Right? Blockchain technology means everybody can see and be certain who did what, right? Means every transaction can be connected. You can trade with each other without having to go through some central clearinghouse, right? Those central clearinghouses today have a tremendous amount of power over your lives. You just don't realize it. They do it in a very nice way, but they do have an immense amount of power over your lives. With blockchain technology, that power gets shifted from them to you. There's one more question.
Question, Pavan. I just moved to SunWest 3 weeks ago, and I've been happier. My name is Emily Maybrook, and I used to live here in Las Vegas for 25 years. Originated for 18 years here, and now I'm in Chicago. I am licensed in 7 states, and I wanted to just ask Pavan a question because I'm not familiar with the blockchain technology yet since I'm new. In the scenario you have provided where the borrower is giving the $3,000 earnest money, normally that money is being deposited into escrow in a trustee state like Nevada. Do we then advance it to escrow?
Yes. So Morgan holds on to the money in a SunWest trust account. SunWest is a licensed trust escrow agent in every state we do business in, which is 48 states plus Puerto Rico. So we are allowed to hold that money. But if it needs to, depending on how the parties agree, Morgan can, if the purchase contract says the money escrow deposit will be put to whatever escrow agent, Morgan will transfer the money, right? It's automatic, right? But when Morgan transfers the money, and this we can talk about this later, some capabilities, the full capabilities and advantages for both buyer and seller will get reduced, diminished, okay? Some optionality, some more freedom will be reduced, okay? And we can talk about how that works. That's beyond the scope of this conversation. But the bottom line answer to your question is yes, Morgan can hold the money, or it can be moved to an escrow agent. It doesn't really matter at this point, right? It's whatever the buyer, listing and selling agents agree to. Okay. And I don't think, Omar, I answered your question completely, right? What was the original question? Yes, that was the original question. And I went on a sidebar. Yes, we do wire the money to the escrow agent at the end. It's just like a normal closing, right? But the difference is that event of us wiring the money to the escrow agent is instantaneously updated to the blockchain, right? So think about what happens right now. We wire the money, and then we send everyone a federal reference number, and everyone's wondering, what it is, and there's a lot of text messages and stuff that goes around between everybody, right? But now that event of wiring the money to the escrow agent is added to the blockchain, right? And blockchain is public, and everyone can see it themselves, right? It's on the blockchain, right? So all of that communication, right? All that back and forth. Did this happen? Did that happen? Because remember, these are real estate transactions are over the counter. It's one-on-one. That's why there's a lot of communication right now. A lot of misunderstandings happen, right? And that creates a lot of tempers and frustration, right? Not because anybody's doing the wrong thing, it's just because that's what happens when two people are communicating, right? But when you have a central ledger, central public ledger that everyone can see, and it keeps it all straight, right? It takes the mystery out, it takes the anxiety out, increases trust, right? And so overall, the whole process becomes less stressful, calmer, right? You get to find your Tibetan inner Zen. That's why we look to Tibet for inspiration on our user interface elements. So yes, real money does get transferred to escrow. Real money goes into the earnest money deposit. Real money gets transferred to escrow. Any other questions? Yes.
Pavan, I just wanted to take the opportunity to first and foremost say thank you all for showing up. My name is Ed Roy Grant. I run wholesale division along with my protege, Anthony Toro, and Pavan here. But between last night and today, got to meet a lot of you guys, especially our broker partners as well too. Really, really appreciate the business you guys send us. Kudos to Suresh. I love hearing that type of stuff as well too. Been here for going on 10 years, and there's a reason why. Because we're always advancing. We're always moving forward and trying to have that edge against the competition. I think we're in a lane now where we really have no competition. So it's going to take each and every one of us to continue using this technology. And from there, hey, we're going to continue being number one. So again, I just want to thank you for everybody who I've met today. Now I finally get to see faces, the names and things like that. It's been a great time. And hey, let's use this technology. Pavan's got that mind, that gifted mind, and is always putting out, good success stories as well too. All right. Thank you guys.
And if there's any more questions? No, we're good. So last phase of this conversation will be our CTO, Celigence. Celigence is my tech company, which is which engineered all of this. And our CTO is Thomas Smith, known on Twitter. What's your Twitter handle? Papa what? Papa Cthulhu. Okay, Papa Cthulhu. Right. He's bought. Thomas and I met about a year ago, and I pulled him out of the crypto world. I said, "What are you doing in the crypto world? That's not real money. Come, let's go make some real money." Okay, so he's applied his talents and geniuses to help us build this thing. So go ahead. Hand over to you.
Wow. Hey, can you guys hear me? Whoa. So it's been a little while since I've been on stage, probably 6 months maybe. I think a lot of what this company stands for and how I met Pavan really just kind of set the stage for me and this whole idea. When we met, oh, is that working? That's better. So when we met, we were mulling over, how to advance this a true approval, and we just kind of had this inspiration from the market, from the technology itself, that perhaps everyone in the space is doing it wrong. That I'm sure that, and hello to Twitter and everyone else who's watching, that perhaps Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all of those other ones, the argument that it is a good store of value is the wrong concept, and that it is an amazing technology. It's open, it's free for people to use, and it's what sets me on fire about it, right? Because it enables that kind of freedom that we believe in, So to digress there, Pavan is a genius. And when he and I spoke initially, it was just meeting a friend, and we had some coffee. There's some old photos of it. Definitely find it on my Twitter. I think someone even turned that into an NFT. So I'm so hype. This is incredible. It's almost a year's worth of work. Couldn't have done it without the engineers that we have. Engineers in the back, oh my God, thank you so much. Love you guys. Right, so I think one of the biggest things that we've been doing here is talking about vision and application and what motivates us, right? And how is it that we get you? When I started out and when I was a kid, I was extremely poor. I was in front of a computer all the time. That was my friend. So growing up, I didn't have the same kind of opportunities as many of us in the room, or even that I do now because of my work. And my inability, or my family's inability, to go and participate with the financial system is kind of why I chose to do this. Back at Safe Moon, I'm sure some of you recognize me. People would ask me when I left, well, what's next? What are you going to do next? I left DeFi, decentralized finance, to go into traditional finance. And I said, I'm going to attack this thing. We're going to overhaul it and make it better for the average person, for those people who are like me that couldn't do that. So, sorry, I'm getting a little emotional. It's been an incredible journey, and we're only going to continue it here. It's one of my favorite analogies is, are there any trees on Mars? Because if that's where we're going, we need to change finance to support that. I know that's a bit forward looking, but if you want to see the future, you have to look into it. And that's what we're doing now, supporting it now, making things better for your average person. So a lot of what people talk about in crypto is how do I boil down this complexity so that even grandma can use it? You know, we can do that with a chat interface. You know, you can have a discussion with your wallet. Consider Coinbase, one of the most popular wallets out there. It takes you 9 steps to send something. With us, it's a simple conversation. And thankfully, along the way, we've been protecting our ideas with patents. I'm very excited about that. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of releases there. But it's being able to just enabling people to make these decisions, to be able to get at home. It changes everything for that family. It's usually like a one-time. Yeah, it's just the vision, the motivation of Celigence. What we're doing here is changing finance. It doesn't just stop here. We have so much more to come, and so much more help and good that we can do out in the world. It's I used to say a lot, I didn't stop when nobody knew me. I'm not going to stop when everyone knows me. And to me, it's irrelevant. This is what I love to do. And people talk about this a lot. This stuff sets me on fire. I stay awake until like 3 o'clock in the morning every day because it's what I love to do. And despite any kind of failures or dramas in the past, it's if you can be honest with yourself about what it is that you want to do with your life and how you want to help people, and that kind of the karma that you put out there. I feel like what we're doing here is going to help so many people, and I'm just so hyped. And there's so much here. I hope that other people can. I hope this resonates with some of you. And I know that what I talk about is usually pretty technical, but it's that human element of what it is that we're doing. The blockchain itself is agnostic. It's the most egalitarian technology we have. Everyone is equal. Even the robots are equal. And our robots care about you, which is one of our primary concerns. So I guess I'll leave with that. Pavan, thank you so much for bringing me on this journey and inviting me.
Thank you, Papa, as they call him. Some of the interesting things he's done is made our blockchain. How much energy does our blockchain use?
We have to benchmark it.
I think I would say it's about equivalent to this flashlight.
Yeah.
Right. So yes. So how much energy does it take to mine?
To mine a Bitcoin, it's a lot, but in terms of people that can really understand, to send a Bitcoin, it costs on average 1,700 kilowatt hours, something like that. This is 1,700 kilowatts, right? It's ridiculous. And then all of mining together is projected 300 terawatt or something. It's like more than Italy uses for power. That's insane. But we don't have that problem. We're validating very well. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's some of the amazing technology that he's brought to bear. He's developed and engineered inside Intelligence. So it's one thing to be able to do, all these true approval transactions, but to do it without spending a fortune, right? In power consumption, right? So it's really unique stuff, groundbreaking. And the engineering team has been working tirelessly 24 hours a day. I'm 24 hours a day, and I'm like, okay, got to keep up with me. And some people are thinking, like, that can't be true. It's true. So they do a great job. We have our ups and downs, but the innovation is astounding. And I have my own opinions, but Thomas, what would you attribute the source of the innovations?
Just kind of, it's that drive, I guess. It's never stopping. It's where we came from. It's continuing, I guess. I'm not sure. It's I'm fanatical about the technology itself. Using this chain enables, and the blockchain in general, it enables freedom of movement, freedom of transactions. That's incredible. So when you do what you love, it's never going to stop.
I think. Oh, sorry. There's a question.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Papa, this question is for you. What safeguards have been employed specifically to the blockchain technology?
But safeguards? So
and specifically, I guess I'm looking at, as I've continued to do research, quantum computing seems to be the biggest issue on there. Have we looked at any of that resistance or anything of that nature?
Yeah. So there are a couple of reasons why quantum is an issue for something like Bitcoin or anything else. Is if you can get to that superposition, what the answer is right away, that's a huge issue, and people will be popping blocks anytime. But with us, it's something to consider right now. It's not really like quantum compute, quantum cracking. I don't think will happen with us. So just the way that we utilize our AI. I'm not sure if we're ready to talk about it yet.
No, not yet.
Not yet. But we do have some safeguards in place and a model that will adapt to that situation. So hopefully that clarifies a little bit more. I don't think we're ready to talk about that part.
No, that's for next time.
Definitely, and we will cover that. It's very fun. Yeah.
Okay. So I think that kind of takes it full circle, because what Pudge and Terrell were talking about and what they represent, in my opinion, they're both mavericks. They both broke the mold. They didn't accept what society, what people around them were the restrictions, right? Of saying that you can't do this or you can't do that. They didn't accept it, right? And they innovated, and both of them innovated in their own fields, in their own way, right? And they changed the game, right? And that inner magic, right? We all have that. That's what we do. That's where innovation comes from. Anyone is capable of doing it. Anyone's capable of innovating, right? Don't stick to dogmas. Don't stick to the orthodox. Be unorthodox. Grow a beard.
Yes. Highly recommended.
Grow a beard, wear jeans, be unorthodox. Right? Think differently. You know, I'm not trying to steal the slogan from Apple. Think differently, be different.
Innovating in the face of resistance clears a path for everyone else. You're creating new stepping stones. And that's kind of what we're doing here, is enabling a lot more of the future. I think that's incredible.
And all along the way, you got to have a vision. Right? And I'm just moving forward my father's vision that he started 40 plus years ago. And his vision was essentially fairness and kindness, right? And he believed in treating, there was just too much disparity, right? He was a realtor in the 70s and then started the mortgage company in 1980. And why shouldn't everyone get the same deal? Why shouldn't everyone be treated exactly the same way? Right? That's what fair lending is all about. Right? And that's a lot of hard work. Right? It's a lot of hard work to treat the person who just had a recent bankruptcy, who's disabled, the same way and the same speed and the same care as it is to the person, the fortunate person who's got a lot of money in the bank and a high credit score. Right? Those are just different situations in life. I've seen plenty of people go from one end to the other end and back. It doesn't make you you're still the same person. You still deserve to be treated with the same amount of care and love and attention. Right? But to do that and to deliver that consistently as a corporation, as a society, as a team, takes a lot of work. And it's hard work and takes a lot of innovation, and we're going to make use of all the tools that we have available to us to deliver that. And what you saw here today was a new tool, an amazing new tool that breaks away all of the barriers that impede equality, all the barriers that flies against the face of egalitarianism, which is what this country was built upon. Basic core foundation of our Constitution is egalitarianism. Right? And there's always a pharaoh, there's always a wannabe pharaoh that wants to take that away from you, that wants to insert themselves in some position of control of commerce, of control of your life. And more we can come up with technologies that make that more difficult and impossible for someone to do, technology that's distributed, that's in the public's hand, right? The internet did move the whole human race by, right? Because it put information in everyone's hand. Right? Now we're going to put transactional data, money in everyone's hand, in essence. So. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks, Pavan. Thanks to Thomas Smith for a great job. Another round of applause for them. And thank you for coming to this event. We have lunch all set up outside. Get your lunch. Come back here, sit down, and eat. It's a feast. So enjoy yourselves again. A big round of applause for Pavan and Morgan.